Hello there, it's Edel. Happy Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, your bank holiday. I'm actually restarting this video. We had an interruption in the last one. So, what I want to talk to you about quickly, because I've not done this before, and I just got this kind of bolt of inspiration this morning, and I said I'm going to do that. So, when you buy supplements, it just occurred to me this morning. The thing is, don't buy them in isolation. It's not like, oh, you buy a particular product to solve a particular problem, fair enough. But you have to think, how does that all blend in with everything else that you're doing? It's not an isolated thing. What I want to get across to you is the importance of layering when it comes to holistic health and with energy healing. Now, I know some people in here are healers, are therapists. I know all of you know about holistic well-being, or you wouldn't be in here. So I just want to kind of reinforce this because there is a shift. I'm so aware there's such a palpable shift at the moment. I find it at this time of the year normally, but it's hitting me like a brick now at the back of the head. At the moment, I'm finding it particularly strong. So what I want to talk to you about is, right, think of it this way. You've got 24 hours in a day. Think of all the things you do in a day that contribute towards your well-being. So that's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And all of it adds up to, how successful or how good your day was. Now, some people, you'll measure it in different ways. Some people will measure it by how good they feel, or their thoughts, and maybe less anxiety, what have you. Another way of measuring it is frequency. And the frequency, if you think of it like playing a piece of music, you'll never be at the same note all the time, will you? That would be that would be just painful to listen to. What you're doing is you're kind of having a melody, you're playing a melody, and there's ups and there's downs in it. It's not a perfect constant. Well, there's very few that can actually get that. So there's going to be ups and downs, but what you want is for all the different levels to kind of complement each other. But we know they're following a piece, or that you're creating a piece of music that's leading somewhere. Think of your health like that. Think of your lifestyle, your well-being like that. So, what contributes? Obviously, things like sleep and hydration. Now, mainstream people will talk, like if you're talking to the HSE, you go to a dietitian, they talk about the importance of fluids from a very scientific, practical point of view, and they'd be right. But we're also looking at the kind of energy healing holistic level as well. And I wanted to talk to you about, be intentional. The intention behind the actual doing of a thing will kind of give you that shortcut to a higher frequency. Because all the time you're aiming to get a higher note, a higher frequency, right? And people talk about vibration as well. Your vibration is just the actual movement that gives the vibration, the frequency. So think about it. When you're taking supplements, try and think of supplements that would resonate with what you're already doing, whether that's your sleeping, what you're eating, your diet, your drinking water. Like, where are you going with it? Are you going off dairy? Are you going off meat? Are where are you at? Do you have parasites? What are you actually trying to do? Because with healing, the principle behind it is that when you have, we'll say light, we want to increase your frequency, increase the amount of light your body is able to hold. So what happens is that you raise that frequency up. So a lot of the disease, a lot of symptoms, a lot of things that you want to let go of, they can't exist at that level of wellness, of that level of light and frequency, so they fall away. And that is where you're going with healing, right? So when you're choosing what you want, supplement-wise, I want you to consider what is it that you want that will complement what you're already doing. Don't take a particular supplement just to get rid of a problem, because what you're doing is you're focusing energy on that problem. You're focusing your intention on the badness and what you're trying to get rid of. So if you think you've got an issue here, say it's with your constipation or a parasite or whatever it is, we'll say it here. What you want to do is rise above it so that this can no longer exist for you. Okay, the bad stuff falls away. So what resonates with a higher frequency? What creates the gap, widens the gap? And what would do that for you would obviously be detoxing, drinking loads of water, a bit of lemon in your water, because what you're doing is you're flushing out your system, because all your body is made of billions of cells, and every cell has water in it. So what you're doing is to allow that cell to vibrate at a higher frequency. We're putting in water to clear it out, to cleanse it out. And that is what we're doing. That's detoxing. A colon cleanse, the reason behind a colon cleanse is because you're getting rid of all the crud that's keeping your frequency quite low. So if you eat live foods, like plant-based foods, if you reduce any processed meat, all that dairy, anything like that, what you're actually doing is increasing your frequency and increasing the amount of light and energy that you can hold, which means you will have a healthier body. And that's not just physical level, that's every level, that's emotionally, because food will affect your emotion, whether you're aware of it or not. It's more obvious in kids, I have to say. I notice it more in children. Do you know the way, I remember the first time my son, it was a neighbour actually at a birthday party, gave my son chocolate cake. I had never given my kid chocolate. He was about almost a year, but he didn't know what chocolate was. He wasn't like missing it or anything. But this neighbour gave him a big slab of chocolate birthday cake, which I'm sure was packed full of sugar, and the poor child didn't know what to do. And I brought him home, and he sat on the kitchen floor and literally screamed and screamed and screamed, and he had his feet and his legs were banging, his heels were banging off the floor. He did not know how to cope with it. He had never had sugar, because he was sick as well. It's not that I'm pure mean. He was a sick child, and we had to manage his diet as well for a long time. But I'll always remember that. And he didn't ask me, could the child have chocolate? He just gave, and he was a baby. However, that didn't happen again for a long time. But yeah, so what we're doing is, what I'm saying is the frequency of the food you put into your body actually will affect your mood. So you know, coffee will, or generally people take coffee and lion's mane together to get them really focused and hyped up. If you've got a big project on, that's fabulous, okay? But that's not something you can do every day. You know, you want to work with your body and work with the emotion. What are you trying to bring? Are you trying to calm yourself down, a bit of chamomile, what have you? Are you trying to lift yourself up? And that is where, when we talk about adaptogenic herbals, say like Anima Mundi, which is beautiful, it's more of a lifestyle thing. And the blue lotus, for example, with Anima Mundi can calm you down, but it can also stimulate you. It's a very adaptive herb. I think it's beautiful, the lotus. And so that is something that can be both for you. Same I find with cacao. Cacao can be very heavy and grounding. I find cacao can really hold me down. But I know a lot of people take it to lift up their consciousness. I get really sleepy on cacao sometimes. You know, I take a lot, but anyway, so that's just it. So what I'm saying is, choose what the products or what you're doing, what you're eating, what you're putting on your body, putting in your body, based on the frequency you want to achieve. And that is the intention behind your choices. So say you're choosing, you choose a theme for the day or the week or the month, whatever. So whatever your intention is for you, doesn't matter what it is. Like, you choose the word, it's for you. When you're taking your supplements, when you're eating, you're saying, is this complementing? Does this support whatever it is that you're trying to achieve? Yeah. It actually gets easier over time, but it makes your life a whole lot easier. And the whole thing about cleansing, the whole thing about detoxing, is to allow you to raise your frequency up so you can hold more. And any of the crud falls away. Basically, that's healing with energy in a nutshell. But you don't need to go to energy healers to do that. You can do an awful lot of energy work yourself, an awful lot of the groundwork yourself, by using good supplements, choosing what supports you. Also, I'd say what some people may not be aware of, do you know, when you get capsules, don't handle them, because unless you're washing your hands beforehand and being very careful, you can actually affect the frequency of the medication or the supplements you're taking. Some are more sensitive than others. So handle them as little as possible. You know, don't be walking around with them in your hand, you know, talking or doing something else before you take them. The idea is to handle those things as little as possible. With the herbs, say like the turmeric and stuff, I put that directly into my mouth. so that it just goes in. There's no interference whatsoever. The thing is to be aware of things like that. Sorry, I thought I heard something there. The thing is to be aware of things like that. Yes, what else is there? There's clutter. If you think of your surroundings in your room, I'll just leave you with this idea. If you think about the surroundings in your room and your office or your bedroom for sleep, how good is it? How conducive is it to what it is you want to achieve? Like whatever healing you're trying to achieve, does it support that? Like if you were looking for better sleep or restfulness or reducing anxiety or, you know, it's sort of like mental wellness, look at your bedroom. Like, is your bed actually comfortable to sleep in? Do you like the smells in the room? Like, you know, sometimes like fabric conditioner can be overpowering, and then it's on your duvet. Yeah, be aware of that. Plants in your bedroom. Some people love them, and different plants. You know, some people like some over others. The light, things like that. Just be aware of what's going on. Does it contribute to your well-being? Does it contribute to the overall frequency? It's amazing the difference it makes. And then I wanted to show you as well with the sage. I use sage a lot. I always have like a whole chunk of stuff here. That's why people sage, right? It's the same principle. Because you're clearing the toxins, right? So it's just like doing a little cleanse. So you burn it up, yeah, just for a minute, let it catch. And that's it. Now, and that's it, right? And that will last for ages. So what you do is you can run around the room, just into the corners, say even under the desk, you know, if it was around your bedroom. Always leave a window open. That works really well as well, just to let the passage of air. I sometimes just leave it here and I go about doing my jobs for the day, and it just clears nicely in its own time. You can use it for healing crystals and whatnot. But the thing is, it's all about detoxing. So if you were doing it for your bedroom, for your kitchen, whatever, the idea is to detox. And that's why decluttering is actually so popular, because we feel so much better afterwards, because we've raised our frequency. Yeah, it's actually really simple. But I just thought it'd be a good idea to mention. It was something that came up this morning in a conversation. I was thinking, yeah, like it was about feeding yourself good food. And I was thinking, well, we can feed ourselves. We don't actually need a whole lot of food at all, actually. We eat far too much. We need to feed ourselves with light and frequency and, you know, good clean air and things like that. So I wanted to just leave it with you. Let me see. I don't know if I know there's a couple of people here, but the idea is just be that little bit more aware for yourself. I'm going to have to flick in here now to see if there's a comment. Just be a little bit more. What's your intention behind your healing? Oh, Donna Marie, how are you, Pat? Yeah, just be aware of what are you trying to achieve. Because sometimes we try to achieve and then we decide, oh, I'm going to do this, and then you have a list as long as your arm of all the things you're going to do to make yourself feel better or lose weight or do whatever. Some of them could be actually taking away from the effort you're putting into it. So what I would say is make your list, decide what you want to do, be very clear on your intention, and then look at your list and think, okay, out of all of these, say, 10 things, what 3 will contribute most to my, whatever it is you want, well-being, blah, 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 whatever you want, sleep, whatever it is. And you work it out that way. And if you're really pushed for time, if you've got work, family, all the stuff going on, pick one. Just say, what, out of all of these things, what can I do today that will contribute most to my well-being, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, it doesn't matter. And do that one thing. And do it early in the morning, do it first thing in the day. Because what happens is you're setting the tone, we're back to our music, you set the tone for the day. So it's just like a piece of music. Frequency is a blend. Like I was saying, if you're listening to a piece of music, there'll be more than one note. There'll be lots of different notes, but played together in a certain way that will lead you somewhere in emotionally in a mood. So health and well-being, energy healing, frequency, all of that, all the different therapies. Some of them have a place and some don't, but it depends on what piece you're playing. It depends on what it is you're trying to achieve. So I just wanted to make that really, really clear, because it just occurred to me, as I say this morning with that conversation, and like there's lots of different products here in the shop. Like I was saying about the oxy powder, that's great as a colon cleanse, but tune into your body and see what is it that you actually need. You might need something else. You might need the anti-inflammatory rather than a cleanse. So think what will give you the best kind of support for what it is you're trying to achieve, because nothing works in isolation. It's all complemented, it all blends. Okay, I'm going to leave you at that. I just got this inspiration. I said I'm going to have to share this with people, get it out of my head and get it out here to you. I hope you find it useful, and we will talk again soon. Okay, bye bye.